years.
66 years, okay. And what were you doing before you were a financial advisor?
That's such a long time ago. So
Well, when did you start your business?
I was working in the title business. So in the mid 80s or so, I worked in the title business, and then I got laid off. And real estate got bad in 1987, and so I answered a blind ad and joined a large insurance company.
Awesome. And, okay, so do you have any pets?
No, but my fiance does. 2 cats, Bo and Finn.
Okay, I was going to ask you about your family. You have a fiance, but you also have boys. Tell us who they are.
Joseph, Jacob, and Larissa. So I think everybody here knows my sons, Joseph and Jacob, except the visitors, of course. And my daughter Larissa, she's the youngest.
Not me.
What?
Not me.
No,
Here's Larissa and then her son's Joseph. Look at that.
I know.
it's Larissa, so it's with a
Oh,
and she works with Irving. So I have a photo of them, so you'll be able to see.
Awesome. Okay, so tell us something nobody knows about you. You have to be truthful.
Sure. I'm getting married April the 6th. Nobody knew about that, right?
no.
Yeah, that's
That's
awesome.
awesome. Yes.
You know, the number one cause of divorce is finances. So I know a really good financial planner to get you and your fiance off on the right foot.
Money is a major issue when it comes to divorce. That's right.
He's also a grandfather too.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, okay, so what's your secret to success?
That would be exceeding client expectations, so being very proactive and being ahead of the game.
Very good. All right, everybody, Steve Warren.
Steve, I apologize. Right as you started, the slideshow decided to stop working. So I'm working on getting it back up in just a second.
Yeah, the first slide was, you can go ahead and change it to the next one. So this is, these are my sons and my daughter on the left there. So that's Joseph and Jacob and Larissa. And that was taken at Jacob's wedding. Jacob is one with the glasses on. And so this is something I hadn't shared with you all. The last time I did this, it was just all business and nobody knows anything personal about it. And Vera Abigail is Joseph and Alyssa's first child, so that's my first grandchild. And she was born December the 1st. And so she's very, very young. And this is my fiance, Beverly Kay. This was taken at Bryce Canyon. And so this was one of our long hikes that we were taking. And we ended up pretty high up there. And like I mentioned, we're getting married on April the 6th. And she's the one with the 2 cats. She told me she was a package deal. I wasn't too excited about that, but that's just the way that it is. And so her cats will be part of our family. And so, yeah, that's a little bit of my personal situation. Roy Disney once said that when your values are clear, your decisions are easy. And so values clarity helps anybody to make smart decisions. It doesn't matter what those decisions revolve around, but especially about your money. And so the next slide shows the financial roadmap here. And this is what I talked about in my 45-second presentation. The financial roadmap is the first step in our process. And what it's designed to do is to help people to find out what's important to them, and that's their values. And so this is husband and wife here, and what's important about money to you. So when a client comes in, this is the first step. They come in, I let them know that we're going to use this big financial document, we're going to put everything in perspective. I also record all of our client meetings to make sure we don't miss anything. So should we decide to work together, we'll listen to the recording at least once before we give advice, so we make sure the advice is just perfect. On the bottom of the shields there, underneath the staircases, those shields are goals that the client has that require money and planning to achieve. And they're very, very precise, which means that we name the goal by when do you want to achieve the goal, how much money does it take to achieve the goal, and what are 2 or 3 words, let's say we're there at that date in the future. What are 2 or 3 words that describe what you're thinking and feeling now that you've achieved your goal? And the client tells us. So that's the goal portion. On the lower left-hand side is where we put everything in perspective. So that is a benchmarking of the client's current financial reality. So that's where they're at right now. So it takes a look at their cash reserves, what they have in investments to fund their goals, their debt, and every type of insurance that exists. And then this document, should we decide to work together, it becomes a central compass for creating a comprehensive written lifetime financial strategy that is monitored and fine-tuned year after year after year after year. When I do a financial roadmap, it takes about 7 or 8 for me to really, for there to be a good fit for me to work with somebody. And so, not every financial roadmap will I ask to become a client. But even if the potential client leaves with this document, they have some clarity. I mean, they've achieved a breakthrough of clarity. I'll follow up with an email with some general recommendations, even though we're not going to work together. Or they could use this with their current financial advisor in order to maybe get them on the right, get them in the right direction. Any questions on that? The financial roadmap? John's going to put it.
I'll say I've done the financial roadmap. It's actually really, really interesting. It's a way to help order financial thoughts, especially for somebody that does not have as much experience with financial success as having one.
All right. Next slide. This is the way the team structure looks. And so our role is to coordinate all of those 5 disciplines, the tax, money manager, the goal planning or financial planning, the legal part of it, which could be estate planning or business filings if you're a business owner, and every type of insurance that exists. So normally, no, not normally, 100% of the time, people are working in silos with different subject matter experts. So they have an insurance person that they're working with, or several. They have somebody that takes care of the money. They have an accountant. They have an attorney that maybe has done their wills 10 years ago. Very good is what I typically see. But there's nobody that coordinates all of those disciplines together to make sure that the advice that the client's receiving is in alignment with their overarching strategy, which to a degree is the financial roadmap that we just took a look at. So the advice is always, it's in a vacuum, like the client's working with their accountant. But none of these disciplines talk to each other. And that's what we do. That's where we step in. So we become the client's financial CEO. The client moves up to the board of directors, and we report to the client on the progress that they're making towards achieving their goals. So coordination is a big part of it. We have the client's back. We make sure all the recommendations that are received from these different disciplines, doesn't matter who they are, we work with their particular subject matter experts, if needed, is in alignment with their overarching strategy. So it's a little bit different in the sense that in our industry, it's really more about charging for assets under management, maybe selling annuities and that sort of thing. Next slide. This is the 3 main bullet points here. There's 3 big items on here that represent our client value promise. And the first one is to get the client's entire financial house in perfect order. So y'all can think about this, but if you were to think about yourself and think about on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your own financial house? With 1 being an absolute disaster, 10 being the model for the planet. Most people will say a 6 or a 7. And what we do is to get them to a 10. Remain on track to all of their goals. So we hold the clients accountable. If we're working together, we hold them accountable to do what they need to do in order to achieve their goals. It's like a fitness coach that you're working out with that is, pushing you, helping you to strive to do 2 or 3 more reps. So we hold the clients accountable to do what they need to do to stay on track. If they get off track 1 degree, then we get them back on track. And we're proactive on all financial issues. And that means that, for example, with the tax discipline, no tax surprises. I've seen that happen before, where clients have a tax surprise, and maybe the money manager generates some capital gains, and there's a huge tax bill that has to be paid by the client. That's because the client's just working in a vacuum, so nobody's overseeing all of the disciplines. Next slide. This is a little bit hard to see, but it's a graphical representation of someone who is 50 years old, has $1 million portfolio on the left side. It's earning 6% interest, and the advisor is charging 1% for assets under management. On the other side, on the right side, we take the fees out, because we don't charge 1% or 1.5% for assets under management. So just think about that. If the client can keep all those fees in their portfolio and not paying to an advisor, the time value of that is enormous. So in this case, 1% is $10,000 and $1 million. So you take that over a period of time, it's over 50 years, and the value gain is over $3 million. So we don't do that, but that's what the industry is. And I'm just making you aware of that, because I've seen it, I've lived it, and I actually was doing this. And what we do now is to charge a flat fee for planning and advice and to be held accountable so that you can achieve your goals for the reasons that are important to you.